Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the fusion, and I'm going to just give you an update of how the fusion is looking for me, and then I'm going to try and give you a few tips and tricks about how you can try to, avoid failing this fusion if you're doing it, what you should keep an eye out for, what you should not do, and all of that, because at the end of the day, we always try to be as efficient as we can whenever we're doing these fusion, especially when it comes to resources such as the energy, gems, or the shards. Okay, so first things first, you might have seen the video yesterday when I did pull some shards, and it was amazing. And that's all I can say. Like, if you didn't see it, you gotta go check it out. You're gonna see my baby girl Lily for the first time joining me on the channel, where I did some shard pulls with her, and it was pretty fun. It was definitely an amazing shard pull. She did bring the luck. Now, when it comes to Champion Chase Tournament, I obviously did a little bit of overkill, even though I didn't pull that many shards, but I'm not gonna go too much over this one. You can go and check that one out. But as you can see, I already got over here. I might still decide if I want to keep pushing to get myself an Eternal Soulstone, because, you don't get them as easily. However, if you're just trying to get a fusion, just try to get yourself over here, and this should be pretty easy. I'm gonna mention this again. The best way to do that is obviously you're gonna pull your Ancients, being it 2 times. You have a high chance of getting epics, and they can give you a ton of points. Also, don't forget you can do some of the fusions, such as fuse Rally Keeper again, even though don't really advise him because you need to get people to 40, but if you have Broadmoss, fuse some more of the Broadmoss. If you have some legendaries that you might want to pop from here and you don't really care that much about CVC, you could use some of these ones. Like, that's something I might do, okay? I might just pop these 2 ones just to get myself some other points, because at the end of the day, honestly, I can get CVC points with other ways. I have, let me just show you from... I have the books, okay? I have the books saved up so I can make the points. But, again, you don't necessarily need to get till the top. I would suggest just wait, because you might need to pull for the Summer Rush. Now, the tricky thing over here is when we look at the tournaments and events is we have the Dungeon Diver that ends tomorrow, okay? And if you didn't get lucky like me, where I pulled one of the epics for the fusion, you're gonna want to try and do this one. However, for me, because I already got an epic, I'm just gonna skip this one. It's not worth it. However, if you're not quite there, then what I suggest is you keep doing that dragon tournament first of all, because that's the first thing that we had. As I showed you, what I was doing is I was soloing with Theodore the Savant, and I was farming food at the same time. I only got myself to over here. I still gotta do a bit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue doing that Theodore solo with this one. Let me just show you again exactly the team that I was using. So basically, this is what I was using. Theodore and 4 food champions. I was going on stage 4 because it's Spirit Affinity, and Theodore is Strong Affinity. Keep in mind, you don't have to, it's not like you have Theodore or not, you're screwed. You can do the same principle on stages on normal, on 20, on 24, on 25. Or you might have, for example, you might have Nishak, okay? If you have Nishak, you might be able to just get him. If you have him built right, in the region cell, let me just show you. You just get your Nishak in the team, and you just go in there and you would go against magic affinity levels, because again, he's going to be strong affinity, he will not be crit, the boss might even weak it, so it should be a lot easier. Again, if you can do stage 7, if not, just push back to stage 3. The solo way should give you a ton more points, because basically, all the Dungeon Diver points that you see I got here were from me doing some champion training, but just a little bit. But it was mostly from me doing the Dragon Tournament with that solo. And while I was getting the points that I showed you, I was getting at the same time the champion training event points. These ones are not too high, but at the same time, what you can do is if you finish that dragon one, which I showed you I still got to do myself, you can stop doing dragon. You can just focus on doing the champion training, because you know what? You gotta do the champion training, you gotta do the dungeon divers, because this one ends tomorrow, so why not just keep going for it? You can just go all in on the champion training, and this is the time where you just gotta go there in 12-3 and just keep farming away, even if you might have to use some gems, because yeah, these dungeon divers are really tricky, I'm not gonna lie. Like, these are the most expensive, and from my point of view, apart from the shards, where you have the shard or you don't, these dungeon divers are the ones that are the biggest problem. Like, artifact enhancement can be a problem as well, but for artifact enhancement you can do it, because you get silver by selling gear from dungeons, by selling gear from doing the campaign, and at the same time we do have the forge. We can just go and forge crap stuff over here and just keep selling it, and you can get the silver. But like, yeah, even the artifact enhancement is gonna be a bit tricky. However, I'm gonna be able to do it. I've been saving silver because I didn't have much to use it on, but that was not as big of a problem. So be really careful with this one, okay? Don't don't forget about this dungeon diver that ends tomorrow, unless you're planning on skipping this, because you know what, let's have a look at the calendar, because that's something that you might this is something that you might take into consideration. This could be another way that it can help you. If you look at the calendar, we know that next week we have a summon rush that's going to include one of the epics. So if you think it might be easier for you to just pull during that summon rush, which might require you to pull around 10-12 sacreds, I'm expecting the epic to be at around 5,950 points like we had it in the past. That's the equivalent of around 12 sacreds. If you think you're going to do that, because I don't know, you might be busy, you might have a busy week, then yeah, you might just skip this dungeon divers, finish your dragon tournament, and just do everything else. And that will allow you to skip maybe all 3 of the dungeon divers, because those are the most, those are the most costly ones that you would want to skip. Everything else is pretty much achievable. Like, yeah, what else? Champion training event is something that I want you guys to keep in mind. Like, the way that I usually do it, even though you saw that I have a ton, is I don't go just to grab the rare. I usually just go all the way, especially because now they gave us the primal shard. But getting a legendary skill tome is really, really important. I have so many people in my comments, even yesterday or the day before, whenever I talked about the fusion, people were saying, I'm skipping this fusion because I do not have the legendary tomes to do that. Well, I'm curious if you're one of the that watches that says that you do not have the books. Just let me know, are you grabbing these ones? Because this is basically a free Lego book, okay? This one usually happens over here. Sometimes they have it in the Dungeon Diver. Sometimes they have it in the Champion Training Tournament. So always grab those legendary tomes. Like, that, from my point of view, that's really important, because you know what? You're gonna want as many legendary books as you can get. Now, one of the tips that I want to give you guys, so you don't waste resources, okay? Because from my point of view, this is not the time. I'm just gonna have this one again, the calendar. But what I want to tell you is, you might start grabbing these ones, okay? You might start grabbing the rares. You might be like, okay, you know what? Let me start leveling them. Let me start doing them. Well, first tip that you can do is, if you do manage, let's have a look at the calendar. So we have 1, 2, 3, and let's say you grab this one over here, 4, or maybe you do the artifact enhancement in Classic Arena, you might have 4 of them, okay? Keep in mind, you can fuse one of the epics today, because if you fuse 4 of those ones, this is free 250 points for the Champion Chase, okay? So even if you did not already grab the Champion Chase rare, if you finish Dungeon Divers, it's gonna be 1 Dungeon Divers, 2 from Dragon Tournament, let's say 3 artifact enhancement, 4 classic arena, okay? You're gonna have 4 rares. You should just easily, because you know, they're easily, get them to 40, get them to 4-star ascended. Even if you don't do this today, do it tomorrow, because Champion Chase is still on. Do it tomorrow and just grab yourself another epic that gives you another 250 points, okay? If you didn't finish Champion Chase again, it's gonna get you closer. It's gonna get you closer, or you might just get yourself the legendary skill tome. So always try to keep in mind and try to be as efficient with your resources as you can. But like, yeah, I think this is pretty much about it. But oh yeah, one last thing. After you do this one for the Champion Chase, I would say don't keep working on them. Keep all of the rares that you're gonna save and the epic, unless you want to do a little bit of the champion training with them. I would say just prepare your food for the rares and the epics. Keep in mind, for all 4 of the epics, you're gonna need 16 4-star chickens, okay? So you can prepare all of those ones so you can get these to 5-star and level 50, but don't do it now. Wait till next week, wait till on Thursday or Friday, because there's a Champion Training Tournament. Champion Training Tournament gives you points like the Champion Training event for leveling up or ranking them up, but at the same time it gives you points for ascending them. It's not going to be a ton of points, but there's still some extra points that you can earn just by doing, you know, a little bit of planning with your resources. And then it's going to be next week that luckily, you know, we're going to have the Void Keep open, so you don't necessarily need to maybe farm the Void Keep tomorrow to be able to ascend these rares, because, you know, it's open only once a week. You're still going to have the chance next week to do that. But I guess I'm going to leave it at this for today, guys. I hope this video helped you in any way. I hope it gave you some ideas of how you can save some of your resources, how you can be efficient, and how you can do this fusion as best as you can to make sure you're not going to miss it. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a video tomorrow about this, but I might make another video the next day just to try and see if, you know, if there's any other things that I can give you some tips, show you my progress and all of that, so we can all get this fusion. Because you know what, I'm still going to say it again, I do believe Wixwell is going to be really interesting, and I'm planning to do some testing, but I have a feeling Vaultkeeper Wixwell is gonna be an amazing champion for Hydra as a mischief tank, because he's always gonna have this extra buff, at least this one. If we don't count the intercept as well, I feel like he's gonna be an amazing champion for, like I said, mischief tank in Hydra, and I want to do some testing to see what team I can work around them, to give you guys some ideas and maybe some reasons that you do him. But anyway, this is gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.